Today on the official Marvel podcast, we'll hear from writers Ethan S. Parker and Griffin Sheridan on their scary new comic series, Marvel Zombies Red Band.
There's a good chance you're going to see your favorite Marvel character eviscerated.
Yeah, I was going to say, or at least their corpse.
Plus, we got a roundup of the scariest moments from the MCU that you'll want to stick around for.
I'm Preeti Chibber.
I'm Quinn Lamar.
And this is the official Marvel podcast.
Preeti, what happens to zombies in space? They're not like walking around up there, right? So it's more like the floating dead.
All right. How long have you been waiting to say that?
Longer than I care to admit on this podcast. I've got more zombie puns if you're interested.
As much as I would love to hear more zombie puns, don't you have something else to share?
Yes, I do. I got to speak with Marvel Zombies Red Band writers Ethan S. Parker and Griffin Sheridan about their gory new series. Take a listen. I want to ask you both. I'll ask you, Ethan, how did you come to write the series?
I mean, it feels like this is the path we've been on our entire lives. We podcasted about comic books when we were children and, have been on a very, very long road into breaking into the industry, starting with our Image series, Kill Your Darlings. And we had just started dipping our toes into some licensed stuff for the first time. We had just done our first one-shot for Marvel, which was Bring on the Bad Guys, Green Goblin. And then Jordan White reached out to us and had enjoyed the work on Green Goblin and thought that we were a good fit for something that was colorful and silly, but also horror-filled and violent and and spooky. And yeah, he's been fantastic and has really just let us go crazy.
That's Marvel Comics editor Jordan White.
Yeah, we're big horror guys and big Marvel guys, so it was a really natural fit.
So you're both already familiar with the Marvel Zombies universe?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what made it so intimidating. I mean, there are many things making it intimidating, but yeah, it's like there have already been so many incredible names touching this line of comics specifically. And so the idea that we would not only step into it, but also kind of start it over, like it would just be a book called Marvel Zombies, and it would be like a new take that like we're putting out saying, this is worth having this title on it when these other books had this title on it. It was very nerve-wracking.
I can imagine. So I'll ask you, Griffin, how did the previous Marvel Zombies comics inform your writing for Marvel Zombies Red Band?
So as always with Ethan and I, we're trying to come at it as a fresh approach. Even though we love what has come before in Marvel Zombies, we wanted to make sure we were offering readers something they hadn't seen in Marvel Zombies before. Likewise, we're big character guys, and so anytime that we can pull together an ensemble of characters and like really put them through the ringer and craft an emotional arc out of it while also doing some blood and guts and such, we wanted to really sort of drive that part of it home, that even though the zombies themselves have been such a big part of previous iterations, this one is sort of going to split the runtime a little more evenly between zombies and survivors and making it more of a zombie movie in that you follow the perspective of some of the survivors. But also when it came down to what sort of version of the zombies are we going to do, because now there's been a couple of them, we wanted to kind of go back to the original style of it where they are, they retain the personalities and they're kind of crass, and it's like upsetting because they sound a little like the hero that you know and love, and yet they're disgusting and they're talking about eating their friends' brains and stuff. And it's the simultaneous familiarity and strangeness of it that I think creates such a great combo.
So you guys have a history of working together. I'll ask you, Ethan, what is like your creative process writing together?
Yeah, it kind of keeps evolving, but everything comes down to conversation. We break down every story together before we even start, and then of course, before going into another draft, it's like, all right, what did we screw up here? What do we got to walk back? What do we got to figure out? And so it's like we sort of handle different duties, and that's fun because not only does it give us like room to breathe and room to really like do our thing, but then also like we get to surprise each other. That's ended up becoming one of the most fun parts of the process. Is like I get excited to see what Griffin has done because he's working on things I don't know about, and vice versa. And so we're writing these books to an artist, but we're also kind of writing them to each other and then to the audience. So it really kind of keeps it energetic, I think.
And how about you, Griffin? Do you have anything to add to that?
I think it gives us the rare opportunity to sort of temperature check the reading experience of the book, because even though we sort of plot out the whole thing together, there is always an element of surprise whenever one of us gets the other person's half. And I think that level of not knowing what the other person is doing makes it so then we can hop in there and sort of experience it in a similar way that readers might experience it. So we get to play co-writers and editors for each other, and audience members for each other, and haters for each other even a little bit. You have to.
I think that's a great way to collaborate with anybody. Okay, so let's talk about Marvel Zombies Red Band. So, Ethan, this story, it begins with the origin of the Fantastic Four, but this time their initial journey to space, it's come with some different results, right?
A little bit. That's a moment that really kicks off the Marvel Universe, like the sort of modern history of the Marvel Universe. And for us, it was just fun to just pivot that into yeah, but what if it was really bad? What if everybody was waiting for this arrival and really excited and holding up signs the Four, they're coming back, and then they show up and they're biting people's heads off. And so that felt like a really fun way to show this is a different Marvel history beginning than you're used to.
So Griffin, what other characters are we going to see in the story?
The pitch was that we would start in the Silver Age, mostly because Ethan and I are big Silver Age heads, but also because, yes, it seemed like the natural starting point. But the pitch was that this would sort of be a life story type structure, not necessarily playing by the narrative rules of the life story books, but that it would sort of, each issue would jump ahead a little bit and highlight a different chapter of the Marvel Universe.
Right, because the life story structure would jump a story forward a full decade between issues.
And we're doing that by way of homaging all of the major events of each decade in Marvel history. Obviously, a lot of characters come into the fray in all of those events like Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet, and Civil War, and others. We certainly found whatever ways we could to fit in all the Marvel Universe characters that we've dreamt of writing. The whole thing is a bit of a redux of the entire Marvel U, so it felt like we needed to be expansive. It felt like we should probably get as many characters in here as we possibly can. There's a good chance you're going to see your favorite Marvel character eviscerated.
Yeah, I was going to say, or at least their corpse. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Silver Age. I'm going to have to ask you to elaborate and define that for those who do not understand what the Silver Age refers to.
It's not quite the primordial ooze that we are coming out of necessarily, but it is it's funny to say the Golden Age because it's not the Golden Age. Don't get it confused with the Golden Age, but for us feels like the inception of contemporary Marvel Comics is the 1960s into the 1970s, where you get the introductions of characters like the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk and the Avengers, like all these characters exploding onto the scene. Of course, at Marvel and at the Distinguished Competition as well. So it's not just a Marvel thing, it is an entire comic book industry, sort of a period of time where all of your favorite characters and stories were finding their footing initially. And so the bedrock of all of these characters that we love, all these characters that we are destroying in Marvel Zombies Red Band, starts in the Silver Age of Marvel Comics.
And you'll find that not just the first issue, but particularly the first issue is just loaded with references to and jokes about and homages to that period, the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko period of Marvel Comics, because we just have such a warmness in our hearts, not just because it's we read these at a specific period of our lives, but it's whenever we revisit that stuff, there's just this magic that's always retained in it. And I think a big part of it is that they're so funny. They were such funny creators. They were cooking. They were just cranking out the hits. And so there was just an energy to it. And so we always have all these little in-jokes from those books. And it was crazy to actually get to do them in an official capacity.
Ethan, I'll start with you. Do you each have a favorite character that changes or has a journey that's happening as a part of this series?
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's ever heard us talk on the internet knows that we're both Spider-Man obsessives. Griffin has Spider-Man on his head at this very moment.
He does.
Spider-Man, it's not an overly original choice, but Spider-Man is maybe the most important fictional character to our lives. And so it was very immediate that when we started working on this, it's Spider-Man's at the center of it, of course.
Well, you say this, but I think there was a point where we were like, okay, we have to check ourselves because
Should we have restraint? Yeah.
like if we could, we're gonna put Spider-Man at the center of every single Marvel story we tell if we do not like think critically about this. And
Right.
then you put on your editor cap, you put on your writer cap first and foremost over your Spider-Man hat, and then you see, okay, with all these different hats on through these different lenses, does it make the most sense for Spider-Man to be the main character of this thing? Yes, it does.
And I will say, like, that has an asterisk. Spider-Man is not, just unequivocally the lead of the book, but he sort of is at the epicenter of everything. And like as we just started planning, it just made more and more sense because like we wanted to show all of these things that could be knocked off course from traditional Marvel history. We wanted to show all of these events that could go differently than how you're used to. And Spider-Man is a character that's evolved so much over the decades and has had so many iconic events and costumes, and there's so much to play with there. And he's typically present for most of these big pieces of Marvel history, and particularly when we started saying we're taking it back to the beginning where a lot of these characters' origins are still happening in issue 1. The Fantastic Four are just now coming back from space. It made a lot of sense to say, like, okay, what if Peter's still in the middle of his origin story? What if we're still in the middle of Amazing Fantasy 15 where he's got the costume, he's going on television and making appearances on Johnny Carson or whatever, like webbing out candles, but he has not lost his Uncle Ben yet. He's not like become a hero yet. What happens if the moment that's supposed to make him a hero is this violent zombie outbreak? Like, that was so intriguing to us, and so it became a centerpiece of the whole thing.
Yeah, and in us doing a redux of the entire universe, it's kind of like, okay, well, if you step back and look at the Marvel U, at least if we're saying starting with whatever time period the 60s are, then it makes sense. Spider-Man is kind of like, if there was a main character to all of this, I guess it would be Spider-Man, naturally.
Naturally. No offense to the Incredible Hulk.
Not at all. We love Hulk. That was honestly one of the biggest challenges of this book, is the fact that we love all these characters so much, and deciding which ones needed to take a smaller role was upsetting. We only have 5 issues. There's only so much room. But like, there was ideas for everyone, and a lot of really fun ideas that like it took a long time for us to let go of some of them when it became clear we just didn't have the room to do them properly.
But Hulk fans, don't worry. The Hulk does some crazy, violent stuff in issue 1.
He does.
We're going to enjoy that. I want to ask who's your favorite Marvel hero to turn into a zombie, but I don't know, is that going to be Spider-Man, or is that going to be... I don't want to assume about what you're going to... So I'll ask you, Griffin. I'll ask you first. Who?
Well, as far as you folks know, issue 1 is the only one that's out right now. So definitively of who has been turned into a zombie by the end of that book, that's only a handful of characters. It is like a big deal when they get turned. It's less like starting in media res where like the people who have been turned, and the people who haven't. And here it is about preserving as much as possible. And so it is, I think, hopefully a big moment anytime someone gets got.
Here's what I will say, just real quick, is that, like, I think, I won't say if this happens or not, but hypothetically, if Captain America were to be turned into a zombie, I think that is a really perfect example of why the book is so fun to write, because you're deciding how much of the character's inherent personality is present while they are a zombie. How much are they still talking like themselves? How much do they still value the things that they value? And I think with characters like Captain America, you find a really funny balance of somebody who wants to eat people alive, but also will salute the flag every time they walk by. I think that's amazing.
He has standards still, even though he's a zombie. He has his code that he lives by. And now, just an addendum to that code is that he will slurp up someone's intestine.
He's super hungry.
If Captain America turns to a zombie, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Hypothetically.
What else do you think readers need to know before they dive into the series?
It's a whole new universe. It's a pretty fresh start, fresh jumping on point. I think anyone even remotely familiar with the Marvel Universe can probably just pick up issue 1 and be on their way. I would say if you really wanted to have like a good idea of some of the fun recontextualizing of the Marvel Universe that we do, familiarize yourself with the biggest events of the Marvel Universe. But it's not like you're going to be lost if you don't understand that.
Buckle up, never get too comfy, because before you know it, oh my God, we're in a whole new era of Marvel.
Can you both share what the creative process was like working with artist Jan Bazaldua?
One of the just like fastest and most efficient artists we've ever had the pleasure of working with. She's always cooking. It's crazy. Like, she never gets confused by a prompt, never gets overwhelmed. It's like when we say we're doing this big event and then in 10 pages we're doing this big event, she's just like, got it. Incredible artist.
Yeah, it's been a really wonderful pairing. I think she's got just such confidence in her style and her storytelling capabilities, which are both so prevalent and very clearly on display in the book. She just takes it and rolls with any sort of punches and is so willing to chat through any potential changes. She's such a professional and super talented, and it's been a real honor to work with her.
What are you most excited for readers to discover in Marvel Zombies Red Band?
In terms of the gore and all of that you're wanting from a Marvel Zombies book, we've gotten to do some stuff that I would not have expected. In terms of characters that have gotten to show up and take a prominent role, there are some in there that I did not know for sure if we'd get to do. So it really is just like, this is us trying to have the most fun we can with this, and I'm excited for people to give it a read and go, oh wow, they really just let them off the leash.
It's been really cool to take an iconic moment and just put it in a different light, which brings a familiarity and an excitement with that, but then also a sort of revelatory like catharsis in how it can play differently, even if it is the exact same image or caption from before.
It's your favorite toys, but it's a whole new playground for them.
Well, I'm excited to see how it turns out. Griffin Sheridan and Ethan S. Parker, thanks for sitting down and talking to us, guys. This has been great.
Thank you so much for having us. It's a delight.
Thank you.
Halloween's a magical holiday, all about family, friends, and the thrill of getting to be someone else for a day.
Wrong. Halloween's about candy and scaring people, but mostly candy.
In Marvel Studios' WandaVision, Billy and Tommy Maximoff are ready for trick-or-treating and the fun of Halloween. But the fun of Halloween can mask the scarier moments of the season and the things that go bump in the night.
Absolutely. And the Marvel Cinematic Universe has had no shortage of frights over the years either.
In honor of Spooktober, check out this compilation of the creepiest moments in the MCU.
The known universe, with its heroes and marvels. But what of the darkness? In our modern world, this is where monsters dwell, alongside those who hunt and slaughter them with pride.
You have awakened her. She hasn't eaten in days.
Whoa, watch out! She's a man-eater!
Reflections. She's using the reflections. Cover them.
Now what? Now we wait. True witchcraft takes time. The spell must marinate, gestate.
This was very clearly a group effort! Oh my god, did we turn Mrs. Harden into a zombie?
Christine.
What? Oh.
It's me, Christine.
Oh my god. What's happening? What's happening?
I brought you back. I saved you.
No, this isn't real. This is the... this is a nightmare.
Am I dead?
No. Why would you think that?
Because you are
Because I'm what?
dead. Dead. Dead!
By all things in the heavens.
Get out of my home, you damn demon!
Is this death? No. You live. Disappointed. Trapped here, haunted. Suffering, despairing. I feast on misery. And I The adversary shall not waste my meal.
Very soon, a monster unlike anything you faced will be released into these sacred grounds. The hunter who slays this beast will become our new leader, taking possession of my bloodstone. Good luck. I'll be rotting for you. Oh, forgive me. Graveyard humor.
Steven, I could save us. But I can't have you fighting me this time. You need to give me control. Do you understand?
What control of what? What are you talking about?
That thing's about to break through the door. We're out of time. All right, hey, listen to me. Listen, look at me. Look at me. This is real. I'm real.
No, it's not real.
Yes, Steven, you gotta give me control. It's the only way. You're gonna die. Steven, look at me. You're not gonna die. Let me save us.
I needed to protect my body in case they attack me for trespassing.
Who's they?
The souls of the damned.
Wait, what are you guys? That sort of seems like overkill. Whoa!
You go for help, but there is no pill for my poison. Let him die. Look the other way. Watch. Get used to it.
I get the pleasure of watching you do what you do best, which is kill all the witches around you, one by one.
I'm sorry, I was asleep. Or I was a dream.
Reboot. Legionnaire has got a buggy suit.
Terrible noise. And I was tangled in strings. Had to kill the other guy. He was a good guy.
You killed someone?
Wouldn't have been my first call. But down in the real world, we're faced with ugly choices.
So, you're a green witch?
Less a green witch. More
the green witch.
Stephen Strange! Possessing a dead body is forbidden! Cease your dream walk or face the eternal consequences.
Sweetheart, you okay?
Oh my gosh! Not thinking!
Whoa, what's she doing? Where's she going?
She's possessed for real this time!
Oh no. No. Don't eat me. Don't eat me. I'm vegan.
You gonna give me everything I want?
No. Of course I'm not, you beautiful human being. I'm just gonna give you the tools so that you can get yourself everything that you deserve.
Okay. I want to be king.
So be it.
And what's in it for you?
Oh, something you won't even miss.
Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Werewolf by Night, What If, Moon Knight, WandaVision, Avengers Age of Ultron, Marvel Television's Agatha All Along, Ironheart, and Marvel Animation's X-Men 97 are all streaming only on Disney+.
This time of year has us thinking about vampires, werewolves, and one very specific witch, Wanda Maximoff. Marvel Studios' WandaVision tells the story of Wanda and her unconventional family. At least that's what it seems like at first. Wanda copes with the death of Vision by transforming the town and residents of Westview, New Jersey into a sitcom reality where she attempts to live a happily ever after. In this fantasy world, she lives with her husband, Vision, and their sons Billy and Tommy, but flashes of real life start to seep through into Wanda's false reality. In episode 5 of the series, Vision grows suspicious about what's really going on in Westview, and with Wanda, he heads off to work on a Saturday, which worries Billy and Tommy. The boys wonder if their dad is trying to get away from them, but Wanda assures them this isn't the case.
Sometimes your dad and I aren't on the same page, but that's just temporary. Like the two of you might fight over toys, but he's always going to be your brother, and he's always going to be yours. Because family is forever.
As we've learned from the show, love can be a powerful force, especially when Wanda Maximoff is involved. WandaVision is now streaming only on Disney+. Next week on the Official Marvel Podcast, we'll get the behind-the-scenes scoop on the upcoming video game, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, from the game's creative director, Frederick Jemis.
It's all packaged and hype-up-in pixelated art style that clearly reminds us of the games we played back in the days, right after watching our Saturday morning cartoons.
That's it for this episode. If you haven't already, make sure to leave us a review wherever you're listening. It helps other Marvel fans find the show.
Yes, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode.
This episode was hosted by Quinn Lamar and myself, Preeti Chibber.
Our producers are Jasmine Estrada and Anita Flores.
With help from Senior Manager of Audio Production and Development, Brad Barton, and Production Manager, Emily Godfrey.
Mixed by Ry Dorsey.
Theme music by Ida Akbal.
Executive producers are Larissa Rosen and Jesse Berger.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.